It is capable of flying hundreds of kilometers deep into enemy territory, and it is extremely difficult to shoot down with Russian air defense systems. It can penetrate almost any bunker, and when it detonates at a position, it leaves a crater dozens of meters deep. Nearly half a ton of explosives allows it to destroy bridges, roads, railway lines, command posts, and any concentration of equipment. And yes, soon the occupiers will feel all of this for themselves. After all, Ukraine has officially confirmed the receipt of French long-range SCALP missiles. This missile is the result of joint work by French and British companies. The project, which began back in 1996, resulted in the early 2000s in the production of two cruise missiles, Storm Shadow for the United Kingdom and SCALP for the French army. Both missiles are almost identical but differ in their software and interface. Since its development, the missile has been repeatedly upgraded, which has allowed its range to be more than doubled. The destructive capability also significantly increased after the designers modified the warhead. SCALP missiles, which are air-to-ground class, are launched from aircraft. There are also versions designed for launches from the sea. Originally developed for NATO aircraft, the missile was for a long time unsuitable for use by Ukrainian pilots. But last year our engineers modified the missile mounts, and today this problem no longer exists.
They are launched from an aircraft, the Su-24 bomber. They fly at low altitudes up to 30 meters, making them hard to detect by radar. They fly fast for this type of missile, about 1,000 kilometers per hour.
It is worth noting that there are several types of SCALP. A missile for the domestic French market with a range of over 560 kilometers, and an export version which Ukraine received. Its range is 290 kilometers and the minimum altitude is 30 meters. With a length of just over 5 meters, the missile reaches a speed of about 1,000 kilometers per hour. The SCALP's warhead weighs 450 kilograms, which allows it to destroy even well-fortified shelters.
A single such missile has the explosive potential of 4 HIMARS rockets. This is a rather significant capability, enough to wipe out the positions or concentrations of Russian occupiers' equipment at a base where there was a dense concentration of such equipment and so on. The missile has quite substantial destructive capabilities.
Ukraine became the 10th country in the world to receive missiles of this type in its arsenal. The first SCALPs were received and personally signed for by Volodymyr Zelensky on Ukraine's Air Force Day. By the way, the SCALP also comes with a cluster-type warhead. Just a few of these missiles can easily destroy, for example, an airfield or a concentration of enemy equipment. The main warhead of the Broch type also comes with a surprise. As it approaches the target, it fires a submunition that makes the initial penetration. Then the main charge flies in, detonating inside the target with a slight delay.
The priority targets are ammunition supply routes, food supply routes for personnel, and also water supply routes. So now, let's look at the map and start guessing where will they be used. There. Armyansk, Perekop, right? There's some highway running there. It's unnecessary, but it's used for supply. There's a railway running along Volnovakha and almost up to Kamenets. Well, it's clear that everything there has already been cut off or is being cut off. That's it. Jankoy, the Crimean Bridge. So these are basically the main targets for this type of missile.
The guidance principle deserves special attention. It consists of 5 components at once. The TERPROM and TERCOM systems allow the missile to fly at extremely low altitudes, skirting terrain obstacles on its way to the target. The missile is also equipped with an infrared homing head with a target recognition mode. In addition, the principle of inertial guidance is used based on data from the built-in GPS.
Shown.
Here you can see the GPS system. This is the navigation that constantly corrects the missile's flight so that it goes exactly in the right direction, because when it's maneuvering between hills, even a few dozen meters can make a big difference, so that it doesn't crash into an uneven surface like Russian missiles, which have hit houses and various hills.
It's also noteworthy to mention that these missiles do not actually require numerous launchers. They are launched from aircraft that Ukraine has already modified. There is simply no need to launch dozens of missiles simultaneously as Russia does. After all, the SCALP has proven itself to be an extremely precise weapon.
You really don't need a particularly large number of them at all to use it.
Launch systems, you only need just a few of these types of aircraft, up to about 10 in total, because this weapon isn't designed for mass use. It's specifically intended for precision strikes on enemy targets.
The cherry on top for the Russians will be their first attempts to shoot down these missiles. Thanks to its low-altitude flight profile and relatively high speed, the SCALP cruise missile has quite low radar visibility.
As for the SCALP, this missile is equipped with a suite of guidance systems that are rather difficult to suppress, especially if we're talking about electronic warfare, for example.
Russian air defense systems, developed in the 1980s, are almost incapable of intercepting modernized SCALP missiles.
They can't create faster acting systems that would respond more quickly, fly faster, and be controlled more rapidly. In other words, they would need faster processors and faster computers that could calculate the trajectory and destroy these missiles. They are unable to do this.
The exact number of SCALP missiles France has supplied to Ukraine is secret. Likewise, there is no information about the quantity of previously received Storm Shadow equivalents. But one thing is certain, the Ukrainian armed forces have significantly replenished their stock of long-range missiles. So in the near future, we can expect even more gifts to rain down on the occupiers. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and like this video. That way, you won't miss our new episodes. Even more interesting facts about weapons and military equipment are coming up in the next episode of Arsenal.